Welcome back to Potato Craft. I'm Solo XO, and I have a confession to make. I spent all day yesterday recording this episode, and I went to go edit it, and turns out I didn't have any microphone audio on any of the clips. So I feel really dumb. So we'll try to do our best with this episode. I started out the episode swimming around in this lake here and showing you how OP this squid farm is. It's just a natural lake that's spawned over in my medieval kingdom area. And if I sit here, I should put on some gear, sorry. And I kill all these squids. And swim to one side. More squid will spawn on the other side. See? And then I kill those squids, and more squid will spawn on this side. And you can literally just swim back and forth here and get all of the ink sacs you'll ever need. It's pretty amazing. So I did this for like less than an hour and got all of these squid sacs, like maybe 30 minutes or so, just swimming back and forth. I think I was watching like MCC or whatever, which Scar won with his team, which was cool. Yeah. And then I went into the nether, and right about here I had a row of shulker boxes here and a crafting table all set up, and I showed you all of the stuff that I grinded out in between episodes. And it was nice. It was a bunch of shulker boxes. That's the Hoglin farm from an earlier episode, which is still completely full of pork. I only AFK'd it once and haven't even made a dent in the supply we have. But yeah, I was going to tell you, or I did tell you, that we were going to build a gold farm and a bartering farm. And we're going to do it right here, because if I walk this way, there's a patch of nether waste it turns into here. Oh, you can see stuff, you can hear stuff. So yeah, I went ahead and built it, so might as well just go show you it. Yep, bartering farm. I'll go ahead and play that time lapse for you right now. So I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. I apologize again for it being out of order and already made, but here I am standing on top of the AFK spot above the farm, which is down there. So let's just go ahead and go look at the farm. And you can see it works rather well. It just constantly rains down pigmen. It's a simple, basic farm. Just platforms of magma blocks. Some glass up top to block gas spawns. And in the middle is just a column of trapdoors with turtle eggs floating at each level. Right there. And then line it with trapdoors so it tricks the pigmen and they just run after the eggs and fall down and go right to here to the target. It's a simple, basic collection system. I didn't want to go all out and do slime blocks and all of that just for a simple single-player farm. So it's just hoppers. They all run into a straight line into the hopper line here. So that means like these middle chests fill up long before these. And the farm will actually get backed up before these ever fill up. These are just to catch any that land over here. I can AFK here overnight and not really lose much. And like these 3 chests at least will be filled up and these will be mostly filled up. I did actually do an AFK session overnight already. Let's go back up to me, okay, and drop down. I did do an AFK session already and filled up these chests and emptied them again. Or emptied like this section here, so they're starting to fill up again. And then these I didn't empty, so it kind of shows you how they fill up. You know, it's exponentially this way, which is fine. It's great for one AFK session. If I was going to go longer, I'd have to get a new sorting system. I'm just deleting all the rotten flesh and everything, so yeah. And then I also built this, and as you can see, I crafted a bunch of gold. I filled up this double chest with gold and been letting it run. It's just 2 piglins sitting on top of hoppers running into Dropper Vader. And the Dropper Vader spits it out up there into a hopper line with just a normal impulse item sorter, all blocked out. And since it's been running for like a few hours now, it's done quite well. You know, obviously the good stuff's down here. Got that much crying obsidian, lots of blackstone, soul sands coming in, lots of gravel, nether bricks, quartz, arrows, and then some mob drops and stuff. And then this is the overflow. It's for all the non-stackable items and ender pearls that I want to dump. I emptied this out already. Let me see if I can show you. I just saved a shulker of each of Splash Potion of Fire Resistance and regular fire resistance, and then dumped the rest. This thing was filled up all the way. And then I just saved all of the Soul Speed 3 books. So I've got 11 of them here. And then dumped all the rest of the stuff. So I'll keep that. And then to dump it, I just have a lever here. And it just goes right into a trash can. And that's why they're staggered like this, just so I can look through them, get what I want, and then dump the rest of it. Yep, so that's the bartering system. Go ahead and turn that off, though. I did have some footage of getting these guys in. It was difficult. These guys were easy. Over here, I just set up a platform with the minecart going back and forth and a scaffolding all the way to the top. I went slowly to the top and slowly back down. And then there was mobs in there, and I did that until I had one in a minecart. And then I moved them over to here, and I did that twice to get two of them. This guy was pretty much easy. I just blocked off all of the sides and then broke the minecart through here so they could only land in there. This guy I messed up. I didn't put a block right here, so he landed there and then chased me around, and then I kept trying to punch him into it and eventually killed him. So I had to do it again, and then that was a lot easier, but I did get the minecart stuck, so I had to go in and push him in. Yeah, and that's how these guys got here. Yeah, I mean, this thing works great. I guess I'll show you it. It's just a solid block with a torch behind it, with a dropper above it, hopper, and a chest. And there's a gold pressure plate that gold ingot's sitting on. And so whenever it's pressed down, the torch is off. And whenever one of these guys pick it up, it triggers it, spits out another one, and it'll just keep going until we run out of gold, or I pick up a gold ingot there. So now it's not running anymore. Put those back in there. And then the button is just to trigger it to start. Boom. So now it starts, and it'll keep going until they run out of gold. It's nice, it's simple, and for a single player world, it works just fine. I'm happy with it. As you can see, I can just AFK up there, spend a little bit of time crafting them, fill up the chest, AFK a little bit more, and get all the stuff I need. Now, if I ever need anything like a lot of obsidian for a major project or something, I could expand this by just putting another solid block right here and then repeating the farm. So the next piglin would go here, then the solid block, then the piglin, and you can expand this out as much as you want. But eventually these hoppers will get backed up, so you need to redo the sorting system. But for 2 piglins, this thing never gets backed up. I could probably add a third one and not get backed up as well. But this is fine for what I need it for. Yeah. So for the rest of this episode, I don't know. Let's go find something to do, I guess. So I don't think I mentioned that last episode we were going to do sniffers this episode, like do a sniffer ancient flower farm. But I'm not ready to do that yet. I decided that I needed more gold, so that's why I made the gold farm. And then since I was making the gold farm, might as well do the bartering farm at the same time. And that's why we ended up in doing that this episode. But I did actually, in between episodes, go find sniffer eggs. And I actually found these rather quickly. It was in like the second or third structure, and maybe the 4th or 5th sand that I found my first one, and then a couple of sand after that I found the second one. So I found it really quickly, which was good. I didn't have any footage of that. I just did it in between episodes. And then I was thinking maybe doing the sniffer for the rest of this episode, but I'm not ready for that yet. I have to figure out exactly where I want to put it in the farming district and how I want to do it. Because normally I would just put them in a box and make a farm that way. but I want these free roaming, so I gotta design a little sniffer sanctuary enclosure for them, and then figure out how big I want it, and do the or figure out how I want to do the collection and storage underneath it. So we're gonna do that next episode, and for the rest of this episode, I really don't have anything prepared. I spent several hours working on this episode, and then went to edit it and found out I don't have the audio for it. So instead of spending the rest of the day trying to figure out what to do in this episode, I'm just going to go ahead and edit it and then get it out and then start preparing for the next episode, which should be sniffers, but don't hold me to it. We never know. I might change my mind like I did this time. But anyways, say bye to Jelly. And until next time, have fun.